Agatha Christie is considered to be one of the greatest mystery writers of all time, but today's author isn't going to talk so much about Christie's books. She's going to talk about the film versions of the books. Teresa Peschel of Hershey joins me with Agatha Christie. She watched one woman's plot to watch 201 Agatha Christie movies without murdering the director, screenwriter, cast, or husband. Your husband is here with you today, so he has survived, so that's
yes,
good.
He has survived.
That's good. Oh, so let's get right to it. What is your interest in Agatha Christie and why the films?
Well, when I started out, I read Agatha Christie the way most people do. I didn't pay that much attention. If the book was there, I read it. And then because Bill was annotating the first 6 Agatha Christie novels, I started reading her much more seriously because I had to edit him. And then at about the same time, we got Crooked House from the library, and I wrote the review because our website always needs fodder. And he was working on The Secret of Chimneys, and I thought, is there an Agatha Christie film for this that we can watch? And amazingly, there was. It was The Secret of Chimneys with Miss Marple. And Miss Marple is not in that book, and that film was a travesty. It was a train wreck. It was absolutely dreadful. And you see Miss Marple pull the solution out of her knitting bag, and it's just awful. But on the same disc from the library, and was the rest of ITV's Marple series, and so we watched them, and I reviewed them, and then Bill said those fateful words, this should be a quick, easy book. And 2.5 years later, and we get Agatha Christie She Watched.
Yes, and there's an international version.
That's
too.
right, completely different book. It is not the same book.
So how do we approach the book? Is it chronological? How is it broken down?
Well, with Agatha Christie She Watched, what I did is we broke it down by detective. And so we start with Miss Marple, and then Hercule Poirot, and then Tommy and Tuppence, and Then There Were None, 10 separate versions of And Then There Were None, the rest of the Christies, and then Agatha Christie the Star. And we had to organize it this way because, again, ITV would put Miss Marple into non-Marple properties. Similarly, when Margaret Rutherford starred as Miss Marple, she took the role of Hercule Poirot. So you couldn't put that in the Hercule Poirot chapter. You couldn't put Her Funerals Are Fatal there. You had to put it in the Miss Marple section. So that's how it's organized. And yes, it is 201 films. We do include a few international films. The international films are all in there.
And then I guess 201, but how do you rate them? What criteria do you give them?
I have to work with 2 separate criteria. The first one is fidelity to text. Does the story actually match what Agatha wrote? And sometimes fidelity to text matters, but not as much as you would think, because you want to be faithful to the text without being slow and draggy and plodding and lethargic. And sometimes you are not faithful to the text at all, and the movie can work really, really well. And ITV was really, really notorious for this because they also did Ordeal by Innocence, which is a non-Miss Marple property, and it was wonderful. Neat. And it really tore at your heartstrings when you saw what happened to Gwenda, the secretary.
We're starting to run out of time, but I want to highlight that this project, it's taken you to England. You've been at the Agatha Christie Festival. So what's all that been like?
It was amazing. We're surrounded by hundreds of Agatha Christie people. I got to go to many of the sites where she was at. Sadly, we missed Greenways. I got to be on stage with big names in the Agatha Christie world like Dr. John Curran and Dr. Mark Aldridge and Kemper Donovan, and hold my own about the best film. And we got to walk around Torquay, which is her hometown, and it was simply wonderful.
Terrific. Wow, what an experience. What a unique thing to do. I appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you.
I know you're working now on a Jane Austen book, so hopefully we'll see you back here in a few years with that.
Absolutely, I would love to. Thank you, Amy.
You're very welcome.